Hi Aries, welcome back to the Astrology 33 channel. This is your October 2021 love reading. Thanks to those of you who liked, viewed, shared, subscribed, and donated to the channel. I appreciate all of that. And for those of you new to the channel, as far as what we have in front of us, it's what I call the bridge in the gap spread. And the way it works is we'll look at the past energies, present energies, and future energies between you and your main love interest. Then we'll actually pull some oracle cards for some additional insight. That's where the bridging the gap dynamic comes into play. As far as the decks being used, on the left side we have the Lover's Path Tarot, and on the right side we have the Tarot Sexual Magic. And also keep in mind that while I'm going to be referring to the cards on the left is your energy and the cards on the right is the other person's, if you feel like it's the other way around in your situation, then definitely trust that. Alright, so with all that out of the way, we'll get started. Past energy on your side, we have the Queen of Cups. So this is actually the Court card for Cancer energy. So this could just be saying that you might have felt at home with this person. You definitely had some emotional vulnerability, I would even say, toward this person. But obviously, if we look at her body language, she's leaning in toward the cards on that side. So definitely looked like you had some interest in them romantically. But like I said, I feel like you might have just felt like a certain comfort level with this person as well. Past energy on their side, we have the Seven of Wands. So this is actually Leo energy here. And usually the Seven of Wands energy represents a bit of a defensive energy, but taking action, usually it's successfully defending yourself. But if we look at the facial expression of this person, something just always seems a little bit off with it. So you might have just felt like they were withholding some information from you, I would say. But it looks like there was definitely a passionate connection that they felt on their side as well with you. Alright, present energy. On your side, we have the Seven of Arrows, which is Aries energy, and Prince of Arrows, which is Gemini energy. So I can see this playing out a couple different ways. For one, it could just be saying that you might have agreed to a bit of like a friends with benefits type of dynamic with this person, but ended up catching more feelings than you expected in the process. Let me see what else comes to mind with this. Yeah, I mean, really, that's primarily what I'm picking up on with this. Primarily because if you look at her facial expression, she doesn't look all that happy, right? So if we think about the Seven of Swords in traditional tarot, the guy has like a really smug look on his face, like he's happy to be getting away with those swords. Here she seems to be a bit disappointed. So yeah, the primary thing I'm feeling, like I said, is that maybe at the beginning you might have felt okay with that, but then with time you came to the realization that, okay, actually I have more feelings for this person than I planned on. So, but then at the same time, I feel like you might not communicate that to this person, so you might still go along with the friends with benefits dynamic, but at the same time, you know, really you'd be hoping for something more beneath the surface. All right. Present energy on their side, we have the Nine of Pentacles. So this is a Virgo energy here, and usually it's a very much a single independent type of energy, but it always stands out to me with this artwork in particular. For one, we see the fire in the background again, so like I was saying here too, I feel like there's definitely a passionate connection between the two of you, but it always stands out to me how he's trying to cut a strand of her hair. So to me that symbolizes them, you know, not necessarily wanting to stay in a commitment, but still wanting to keep a part of you, right? So I feel like for the majority of you, it was most likely this person who had suggested the friends with benefits dynamic. For some of you, it's even possible that you didn't realize that that's what it was going to be, right? Like maybe they could have given you the impression that it would be something more. And initially, you know, you might have been under that impression that, okay, this could build into something. And maybe this is saying that you're coming to the realization that they really had no intention of going any further than that and dealing with that disappointment. All right, future energy on your side, we have Awakening, which is the equivalent of the Sun card, and the Nine of Coins, Virgo energy. So we see it in the present on their position, and now we see the future on your side. So with the Awakening energy, the equivalent to the Sun card, and we see the angel symbolism there, similar to what we saw with the Prince of Arrows as well. So this could just be saying, especially if we look at now, her back is turned to the cards on the side, and it looks like the angel figure would be pulling her away from this. Could just be saying that you're coming to the realization that, especially if this was something where you did want more, and they might have even given you that impression, looks like it's saying that you'd just be better off cutting ties and enjoying being single for the time being. until you find a connection that's more on the level that you're looking for. Let me see if anything else comes to mind with this. Or it could even represent if they were the ones who might have cut ties with you in the present, and initially there might have been some disappointment with that. This awakening energy could just come, uh, could point to you coming to the realization that it was actually for the best, and actually ended up enjoying yourself in the meantime. So that's what I see with that. All right, and future energy on their side, we have the Nine of Chalices. So this is the equivalent of the Nine of Cups, which is Pisces energy. And usually this represents an energy of wish fulfillment and actually wanting to build with a person. So this just looks like a not too surprising of a theme for Mercury retrograde, right? But it almost looks like initially you were the one who had more feelings, right? Whereas this person just might have had their singular focus that, okay, I just want something passionate, not really anything long term. It looks like the tables have turned, quite frankly, or at least they will, I should say, because it looks like now you're the one who realizes, okay, you know what, I deserve more than that, and more or less cutting ties from the connection. And now it looks like this person is the one who wants to come in now, all of a sudden, and try to build something more stable. So that's what I'm seeing with that. All right, bottom of the deck on your side, we have the Princess of Cups. So this is the equivalent of the Page of Cups, and body language wise too, we see her back turned to the cards on the side. So it could just be saying that on the one hand, you might actually have feelings for this person still, even in the future, but I feel like it's just saying that, especially if they gave you the impression that there was the potential for something more serious, and you found out that they actually didn't have any intention of following through on that, then yeah, I can see why, on the emotional level, you might still have some feelings, but it feels like you'd be moving away from it either way. And now, to be fair, if they didn't promise you that, and it's more of a situation where you guys both entered into it with a friends with benefits dynamic, and then you ended up catching more feelings in them, that's not necessarily anything they did to you, you know what I mean? So I guess you'd have to weigh that out. But yeah, for the majority of you, it looks like it's just a situation where the tables have turned, or will turn in the connection. All right, and bottom of the deck on their side, we have the Two of Chalices. So yeah, another indicator that, like I said, it looks like initially they were the ones who were just coming in with the passion and not really wanting anything more serious. And now, as you're detaching, it seems because they weren't really all in the way that you might have thought they would be. Now, all of a sudden, it seems like they are. So, like I said, definitely seems like a theme that would happen when you have Mercury retrograde in your opposite sign, which you will. So, not too surprising in that regard, but it's just interesting to see it play out with tarot cards. But we'll see if the oracle cards add any additional layers to this. So, first, we'll see if we get anything for an Aqua Moonlight deck here. I did pre-shuffle this deck, and normally I would just look for jumpers as far as unspoken messages from you to them and from them to you, but this month, even if I haven't gotten any jumpers, I've still pulled a card for each side, so I think I'll just roll with that for the rest of the readings this month, and we'll see if I'll continue with that next month too. But yeah, like I said, first we'll be looking for unspoken messages from you to them. Alright, got one there, and next we'll see if we get any from them to you. Okay, got a couple that don't want to go back, so we'll keep those. And let's see what we got on your side. Okay, we have in the very near future. So, not a lot of context provided with that. If anything, I feel like that could be pointing to that awakening energy. And if I had to think of a timeline with this, even though this represents sun energy, I feel like maybe during that full moon in your sign, you might come to the realization, which is as we get toward the end of Libra season. So that could be when you might have a shift in the connection. And let's see, on their side, we have letter. Alright, it won't focus, but it says I'll be writing you a message. There we go. This card's actually been coming up quite a bit, so another Mercury retrograde theme there. And we have first, you are the one, the only one. Interesting message there, because I don't know. to be fair, if we're gonna roll with this, because I still don't necessarily see how it would resonate for everyone regarding energy on this side, but this could be one of those situations where if this is a person that's just traditionally been a quote unquote player, right, where they've just always had casual connections and never really worried about catching feelings, maybe that could be what that's pointing to for some of you, which is to say that you might be the first person that actually threw them for a loop, right? And this plan of theirs backfired. So that's the case. Like I said, that could be for a small group of you, but hopefully that resonated. And lastly, we'll pull a card from the Wisdom of the Oracle deck. I pre-shuffled this deck as well. Here we're just looking for one card though, and then we'll wrap up. All right, so nothing's coming up. So what I'll do is we'll just put the deck down for a second. Now, just give me a few seconds to tune in and we'll pull a card. Okay. We have By the Book. There's the artwork, and the number is 11. So interesting just seeing that. That made me think of that. It's the same number as the Justice card in traditional tarot, but let's see what it says. Okay, it says abiding by social rules, conformity, respecting cultural or family customs, universal laws. The Oracle's message: the universe works within the universe works within a structure of divine laws and principles that provides a framework for human experience and evolution. The law of abundance, the law of prayer, the law of karma, the law of attraction, the law of thought, the law of compensation, and the law of nature are only a few that are known. These principles create perfect order and operate with a kind of precision beyond human understanding. Every revolution has its place in universal law. Human beings, in turn, have their own laws and customs that vary from culture to culture and family to family. Laws keep social order and govern behavior, reflecting an instinctive understanding that harmony is important. This is a time to learn these laws and conform to them, rather than being the rebel and flouting them. When this card appears, submit to structure and follow the rules, even if they seem to make no sense. Release resistance, for universal laws will correct any disharmony. Open your eyes to those universal laws, and it will be easier to go by the book at this time. So interesting message there, because what that made me think of with the universal law part was where I mentioned, it looks like the tables turned in a connection where maybe you were the one who had more of an emotional connection in the beginning. This person was trying to keep it just strictly physical. And now with time, it looks like you're actually detaching, and now all of a sudden they want to come in with the emotional side. So it could just be saying in that regard that karmically things might balance in that regard. So hopefully that resonated with you. And the relationship message says getting along with others entails understanding and respecting who they have become as a result of their environment, culture, and experience. Find the middle ground that allows the relationship to flourish while honoring the individuality of the other person. Play things by the book instead of trying to break the rules or pressure others to conform to the way you want to do them. Your connection will deepen as a result. So, interesting message there that almost gives me an impression of saying that, rather than try to manipulate the situation, if you're actually leaving the situation mind out of a genuine desire to just seek more fulfillment, then that could work out better than if you do so in a more manipulative way. So, hope it resonated with you guys. We'll wrap up there, and I'll see you all next month. All right, bye.